Look at me, I'm an airbender.
That's why they're all dead.
Hey y'all, how's it going? Alright, welcome to Too Gay, Too Weird, Too Much movie review of Avatar the Last Airbender, brought to you by Netflix.
In association with Nickelodeon Pictures.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
credits due.
We still remember the Nickelodeon. God, we're old.
Yeah.
If you have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And just thanks for being a part of our little channel here. But more importantly, if you have no idea about Avatar the Last Airbender, then we will be talking about spoilers. We haven't actually finished the full Netflix series yet. We just finished episode 5 and wanted to get this out there. But again, there may be spoilers about the animated series and what may be coming to the Netflix series, especially in second seasons or third seasons, if there are. Book 2 or 3. So yeah, spoiler alerts. Okay, so first of all, to understand this review, you have to understand our background with Avatar and the Last Airbender. I myself did watch a little bit of the series, the original animated series. So I am familiar, I know some of the characters' names, I definitely know them by look. I kind of know some parts of the story, but like, I'm not an obsessive fan, just a casual viewer, as they would say.
I, on the other hand, am in love with this series and probably obsessed, not to the point of like stalker obsession, but really, really do enjoy it. Probably watch it, 1 to 2 times a year, at least for a rewatch. So I'm very familiar with it. I just did a rewatch of book 1 to get ready for the show. So I have a lot of things to say.
He's a stalker. Initial thoughts, for myself, again, casual viewer of the animated series. I am bought, sold, renting, time-sharing, everything with this series. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I love everything that they're doing. I'm obsessed. I may start stalking now myself.
And my overall opinion on this is, look, there are going to be people, diehard fans, who are going to say either they love this, hate this, or just think meh about it. And I agree with all 3 of those perspectives. But ultimately, from my own viewpoint, I just loved it. I enjoyed it for what it was. There are some things that I will share more about with that I might have disagreed with. But overall, I think it was quite enjoyable and much better than the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I don't even remember that movie.
Be thankful.
Which is a good thing. Let's break it down, first of all, by the actors and characters and that whole aspect. All right, so acting characters. Let's start with Avatar the Last Bender himself, Aang.
Aang. I thought he was fantastic. Actually, I thought he was great. I was very, very nervous when I watched the trailer. Because he didn't quite stand out, but I really enjoyed what he did with the character. What did I put here? I put him as a standout. I liked what he did. He helped ground Aang a little bit more, because I feel like if you took the cartoon original version of Aang and put it directly onto live screen, it could be a very, very obnoxious child. So I think he was able to find that fine balance of child, but not in-your-face child.
I loved him. I thought he was great. I agree with everything that he said. He did ground him, for sure. The actor, who is Gordon Cormier, I I think he's from Canada.
I don't know how to pronounce it. We apologize.
Eek. But yeah, he's doing a great job. I love the physicality. I love when he's airbending.
Yes, he had very good movement.
Yeah, he
Very
made
good
it believable,
Yeah.
and he totally sold it. So yeah, he was fantastic, and for being the Avatar, the Last Airbender, he's really coming up to speed. He's a great child actor. So yeah, good job. Okay, Katara. Okay, so then we have Katara, played by Kia Wintio. Apologize if that's also not the correct pronunciation. But yeah, I think she's good. I think she is definitely playing the age of the character. Mae Whitman voiced the character in the original animated series. And of course, because Mae Whitman is older, she definitely had a sense of maturity in her voice, which you really believed in the character and you wanted to follow her. This adaptation of it is a child, so you're kind of like, you're just a little girl. But she grows on you, and I think definitely as an actress, I see a great future and see future series of Avatar, 2, 3, and what she's gonna do. So yeah, for me, thumbs up.
Yeah, I think she did well overall. I think, look, over the whole show, if you're a big fan of the series, part of being able to get past things would be the voices and how different they are compared to the animated original version. And once you are able to get past that and just see them for the actors that they are, I think she did a very good job. Mae Whitman is incredible. I love everything that she's been in. So it was a really hard task to try to meet her there. Mae Whitman just had a little bit more of that motherly quality, which is Katara. But Kia here did a fine job. Really showed her age. She's not. She hasn't been doing this for quite a while, and I think she did a fine job.
Sokka. Sokka. Played by Ian Housley. Sokatumi.
Sokka. He was so weird because it was like literally the cartoon in live form. He looked like him. He had the same cadence. What I did enjoy about him was that he was able to still make Sokka funny without being over the top and taking it to the right level with his inflections on certain things and the nuances within them.
Yes, and the only thing I would say that is a little bit of a downfall, I completely 100% agree. They literally took the cartoon character and just... But I just wish that the actor was a little bit more rubber-faced, and by that I mean that, like, he could have more exaggerated movements of his face to get the physicality across. I think his voice is perfect, but I just wish his face would follow his voice a little bit. That's weird to say, but you know what I'm talking about. Right. Face. Voice.
Face.
Prince Zuko. Done. Hands down, best of the series. IMO. That means in my opinion, because I'm such a cool kid. But yeah, Dallas Liu, who is the actor who portrays Prince Zuko, this is one of the most, if not the most, phenomenal character from animation to live action. Definitely within this series and within Avatar's world, but I would almost say in recent years with all of these live action adaptations, he gets the character, he makes him the youth that he needs to be, but not comical. Like, you believe him, you understand where he's coming from. He plays the emotions amazingly, and yeah, I think he's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought he did a really good job. Like you said, he really understood why this character was making this decision. It was not necessarily because it was logical or rational. It's because of his age and what he's gone through. and you really felt that in his acting, that he really got that of the character, and I thought he did a bang-up job.
Yeah. Uncle Iroh, played by Paul Soo-Hoon Lee, otherwise known as Kim's Convenience.
Mr. Kim, Appa.
Simu Liu.
Anyways.
Uncle Iroh.
Oh. Well, this is a tough challenge for Paul, because Uncle Iroh is my favorite character. Between him and Toph, which you don't get to meet this season because that's not till book 2. But Uncle Iroh, I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a fine job. He got most of the character. He's a little more on the understated side here, and the original he was a little more over the top, and I just enjoyed the over the top joyfulness and just glee of the character. But it makes sense within this tone and this world of why Uncle Iroh would be like this. So he still had elements. So I understood the choices, and I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point to make about it being understated, because like everything was definitely more understated for the Netflix series being live action, which I absolutely appreciated. And this is okay. Side note, overall series opinion is like when you compare this to One Piece, that really kind of did anime live action with the over exaggeratedness. If you say it slowly, you can say it correctly. But yeah, with the over exaggeratedness of One Piece, but here with Avatar, they really actually grounded it and made it a little bit more realistic. So that means all the characters had to be muted, but I think it portrayed and came across beautifully. And I think Uncle Iroh was great because he did have the funny moments. You know, he had the callbacks to the tea specifically, you know, so there were some really cute callbacks, but like, again, it doesn't have to be an exact replica or simulation. They can take on their own, and I think that's what they did, and I think that's what Uncle Iroh in this version did really great, is he did bring on his own, because again, at the heart, he captured the heart of the character beautifully. And
the live action is much more emotional. You see death, you see sadness, despair, children of war.
Fire Lord Ozai? By Daniel Day Kim. Hi, Danny. I thought he was great.
Yeah. He came, did what he was supposed to do, delivered.
He delivered excellent.
Not a large role.
He delivered excellently. He delivered beautifully.
He was a war criminal.
He's such a beautiful man. Okay, so the next one that I have on the list, only because, spoiler alert, I actually took like the top 8 from IMDb.com, so that's how I created the list of the actors that we're talking about today. But one that is on there that is the top is the actor known as Matthew Yang King. Who is he? He plays Appa and Momo.
I mean, those characters had to have voices and they had to have sounds. Momo may have been some VFX motion capture, and he could have been doing the movements.
That's true.
So,
however, you have to look him up on IMDb.com because there's no reason this man should not be in front of the camera because he is gorgeous.
He could be shy.
The last one that we're going to talk about for the actors/characters is only because she was not supposed to be in this season because she is not in book 1 of the animated series.
Well, to be accurate, she shows up in the very final scene of the final episode.
However,
Facts are facts.
she is here. She actually plays a rather pivotal role, and that is Princess Azula, played by Elizabeth Yu, and chef's kiss. Just love her. It was really funny when I first saw her. I was like, I bet she is so much older than what she seems, because like you think she's playing like a teenager like all the other kids in there. Yeah, she's like 23. So yes, I do IMDb stalk people. It's fine. Everybody does it. But I love her. She is a great actress. She is giving it every single scene. I just say, slay, queen, slay. That is a yes, ma'am.
That is a no, ma'am. From a fan of the original. I'm not saying she was bad in the role. She gave it everything she had. I thought she was decent. She was fine. But she just did not capture the evil on the brink of madness that the original version was.
Totally she does.
No.
Oh
it
my
was,
God.
It was like person playing evil as opposed to just being evil.
No, there were times when you could tell
I
that
think
she was
we
just like...
have to disagree here.
Like the eyes and
I think she was slightly miscast.
He is incorrect. Alright, so...
No, we're not moving on until we talk about the other... I don't know his name, but the character Boomy. There was the biggest character assassination I have seen in a long time, from source material to live action material. I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm not going to give anything away, but for me, they did a total disservice to the fun, wild, crazy Boomy who is trying to teach Aang that things aren't always what they appear to be.
It was good. There were definitely some issues with that episode, I will say, for sure. I can't remember exactly what it was now. I didn't take my notes.
Oh,
correct.
Sorry to jump in, though. The actor did play him well, and got the essence of Boomy, but the writers and the creators did a total middle finger to the character.
Yeah, the actor, Ukkar Shambukar. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly, but you will know him. You won't know him, but you will know him. So
he's amazing in everything.
The makeup is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So you're not like, oh yeah, that's him. But if you look at his eyes, you're gonna know that it's him. And then when you look him up, you're gonna be like, oh my God, because he was in Pitch Perfect. Yes. He was in the United States Ghost series on CBS. Yes. He is hilarious. He is super talented. He is incredible in this role. Somebody that doesn't really know this Boomy character in the story, I will say I thought it worked out perfectly. I thought the games they played in this episode and the lesson learned about you have to have your friends and keep your friends was phenomenal. I think everything worked out. Again, as a casual viewer, everything worked out beautifully for me, and I love the relationship, and I love what Ukash did with it, and it was great. And the makeup?
No, ma'am. No. Boomy would never hold a grudge. Moving on.
Okay. So let's talk about the special effects. It was so weird because it was like really good in some parts.
The bending looked really good.
And really bad in other parts. But for some reason, it was okay and it worked and you just kind of went with it and you're like, sure, Netflix, take me along with this silly ride you got where sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're terrible, but hey, lesson learned, that's just Netflix.
To me it just felt like a modern 80s kids adventure movie.
Yes!
So, I don't know if it was the cinematography, the directing, the VFX. For a minute I felt like I was watching Ninja Turtles for the first time, watching your cartoon come to life. And then more as it went on, it felt more kind of like a Goonies, a Princess Bride almost.
Yeah, and I even said that it was kind of like very Time Bandits, Adventures of Baron Munchausen. And which is why I love it, because those are some of my favorite movies, and I love those movies. Yeah. So, yeah, I loved it.
Kitsch about it.
Yeah.
It's like a dark tone with a certain kitsch that you're kind of like,
Yeah.
kind of like a labyrinth.
Yeah, we're
It's
like
dark, but it's still kind of playful.
yeah, and because it's still playful, like you don't want the special effects to be like pristine, because you again want to remember that it's fantasy, and for some reason,
There's a little camp.
yeah, and a little camp. Because I mean, the animated series, like we went back and watched the first 2 episodes last night as we went to bed after we watched the first 4 episodes of the Netflix series tonight.
Unnecessary information.
Was. But like yes, the animated series, as good as it was, is very campy because it is in that very anime camp style, and I feel like they harness the spirit of that through the mixed bag of special effects.
Yeah.
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 I said it perfectly. We can move on. What's next?
One thing I just want to cover, there are several changes to the stories, and several new scenes. For the most part, these are fine changes. They all make sense within the story. One notable one is, you're trying to fit a full season into 8 episodes. And in the original, they would stop and do these little adventures, and they sort of kind of combine them all into the same kind of area, going on to those different adventures. So you get to still have all those kind of characters that you fell in love with, maybe with a little shorter storyline. So it made sense overall. There are some that I disagree with and not like. There's one that I'm not going to share now because I want to see how it pans out and how it might end if it's brought in a different way. But it is really fun. There's a lot of Easter eggs within little scenes, even hearing names of characters that might have been cut, but you see. Let me see. My disappointments I already talked about.
He has so many notes.
I do. Okay. And yes, the one thing that we all want to know and need to know as fans of the original Avatar the Last Airbender on Nickelodeon is...
Wait, what?
Okay. It is... Everybody wants to know, is the cabbage guy in it? And
oh! The cabbage guy!
yes, he is. So, right there, you already gained multiple cool points. So yeah, overall, so far, it's been a fun ride. There's some things that annoy me, but I could quickly get over and just kind of go along for the fun ride.
Yeah, it's great. That's all I can say. It's actually great. I mean, it's cheesy where it needs to be cheesy.
Positives, the Kanoshi Warriors are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
They really got... Suki is great. I can't wait to see more of her.
Positives are just... It's good. It's just good. And the acting is good. The directing is good. The script is good. Like, yes, we could nitpick to death and make it exactly what we want to be, but this is one of the burdens to bear of studios, is that they have to make movies and films and TV shows for everyone. So it is difficult. Yeah. So we are going to have these reviews and critiques, but overall...
Yeah, and
great job.
As an obsessed original fan, there are going to be a lot of divides on this, because I understand that you can't just take... Do I want it literally scene for scene? Yes. Do I understand you can't? Yes. Do I understand what this director or this team are trying to achieve? Yes. Do I think they cheated? I certainly do. But I can understand some fans who are angry with some changes, might see it as not as good as the original. But any fan who says that the movie was better than this is incorrect.
Very incorrect. And yeah, and just remember as well too, when they adapt things, when they remake things, it's not going to be exactly the original. That's why it's called a remake. That's why it's called an adaptation. is because it is not a shot-for-shot remake. I mean, look at the movies that were. Like, Psycho did a shot-for-shot remake and not that successful. The Lion King was almost a shot-for-shot remake, and even though it grossed over $1 billion, it was terrible because animals can't show emotion. So, like, yeah, you're never gonna, like, if you want the original, go watch the original. Absolutely. Here, if you just want to see a good show, absolutely go watch Avatar the Last Airbender, now airing on Netflix, because it is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, but yes, give this show a
just think of it as a different version, alternate, a darker, more adult,
more reality-based
version of the cartoon.
Yeah, it's great. So go check it out.
Entertain it. Love it for what it was.
You want them to entertain the show? That doesn't seem right.
I want them to entertain the idea of watching the show.
Oh.
You dipstick Fruit Loop.
Dipstick Fruit Loop.
Yeah.
If you know where that's from, please comment below. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, please comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notifications button so you can get alerts when our new content drops. And until then, we say adieu and see you in our next video.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ta. Oh my God. If you hate us,
subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Show your friends so they can hate on us as well.
Troll the hell out of us, please.
I can't read.
Hate watch. He can't.
So I won't know what you're saying.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want below. It's fine.
But like
share.
And share and watch. You have to watch the full thing.
Look at these fat gays. They're dumb. You gotta watch this. Oh my God, I hate this so much. Watch it. Ooh, you're terrible. You should watch this. Send it to all your enemies. Ooh, that's a good idea. Because, girl, you know you got a lot of enemies.
They worked. Moving on. Yeah.
This is my audition tape for voiceover work.